Imagine more people raising their hands in here.
Let's not do 3, let's do 9 instead of 3. So let's do 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9.
Yeah, that one. 17. Yeah,
Oh, you won. Fine. You start. We run it. It's ready to go.
All right. 3:30 on the dot. We're going to try to start. Before we get started, though, we do have some papers up here and pens or pencils. If you have a question you would like to ask us, we would love to try to answer that for you. But we do have some questions that were given to us from our team members, other directors' team members, that were questions that people were constantly asking or had questions about. So we have some questions that we're going to hit that we've already previewed.
The appropriate questions.
Appropriate questions, yes, please.
You know him.
But to start off, we're just going to take a minute to introduce ourselves. My name is Casey Stevenson. I've been in Scensty since March of 2006, and I live in Caldwell, Idaho.
My name is Becky Priest. I joined July 16th of 2004, so my 10 years this year. So excited. And I live in Meridian.
My name is April Newbell, and I joined in June of '05, and I live in Star, Idaho.
And my name is Mary Kroll, and I joined December 31st of '05, and I live in Middleton. And which one are you starting with?
Whichever one you want.
She said pick whatever one I want. Okay, I'll start with this one at the top. I am just starting out. What 2 pieces of advice can you give me to get to the top of the compensation plan? It's hard to narrow it down to 2 pieces of advice because, we like to give advice a lot. So I think one of the first ones I had on my list is to work your business and know your customers and take care of your customers. You can't be successful unless you take care of your customers and continue to build your business that way. And to treat your business as a business. If you don't work it, you're not going to get any kind of success out of it.
My 2 pieces of advice. Number 1, I would hope you all love the product you're selling and use the product. I can't tell you how many recruits I've had that you go to their house and you're like, why isn't your Scensty on? Use it in excess. That's what's gonna get people interested in it, is your passion for it. My second advice, again, goes off of yours, treat it like a business. And something I wish I would have done in the beginning is wrote my numbers down. If you own a business, you have stuff to track your numbers, so you know what you're doing. I wish I didn't start writing numbers until '08, and I wish I would have started in '05. I wish I could tell you when I hit certified. I wish I could tell you when I hit director. Those numbers I wish I had. So start now, writing your numbers daily. They're great to go back to and see how you're doing. Don't compare yourself to someone else. Compare yourself to you.
What numbers?
Oh, numbers. Your sales. Once you start recruiting, your team sales, your team wholesale volume. Do you have a recruit? How many are active? I write how many are in my team, how many are in my group. I have my team sales, my group sales, my personal sales, and how many are active. And if I have recruits. Those are what I write every day, because Scensty only keeps track of your month-end numbers to go back and see what's going on. Anyway.
Excel's a great place to keep track of that too. So I have be yourself, because people can see right through, I'm gonna say it again, fakeness. If you're pretending to be somebody you're not, they're gonna see that you're not genuine and authentic, and it's hard to be successful when you have people that don't like you. And then consistency, I'm stealing Casey's, consistency, because if you're not being consistent in working your business daily, or 5 days a week, as I would say, you're not going to grow in the business, and your business isn't going to grow.
My 2 pieces of advice would be, number 1, to set a goal. When I first got into the company, I just got in for fun and to support my habits, so I didn't really have a reason or have goals that I had set. But when I really saw what it could do, I had set goals. And you don't want to set the goal of, I want to be superstar director, or I want to be in a circle of excellence as your goal. You want little steps, baby step goals that will get you to the big goal. So set a goal to be a lead consultant by the next couple months, or in the next year you want to be director. Have the goal be more specific to where you're at and not what you want to eventually be at. So that one's a really important one. And I also think that being involved. You can say you want to do the business and you've tried everything, but are you really involved in the business? Are you attending team meetings? Are you in contact with your director, your upline, or your sponsor? So be involved within the business itself too. Don't just say you want to do it. Be involved, set your goals. Okay, the next question we're going to go to is, what role, if any, does your spouse play in your business? My husband is a construction worker. He's worked in construction for the last, we've been married almost 22 years, so about 24 years he's been doing construction. He's a pretty busy man. That's what he does. I personally don't think we would work well together, although he does support what I do. So he does support our family when I'm at parties at night. He helps me with any bags that I'm bagging up with orders. He helps me do that. He delivers packages if he's going into town. I live kind of out in the country, so if I'm going into town, I'm doing multiple things when I'm in town, and so if somebody needs something and he's going to town, he'll deliver it for me. So he does support the business. He's also vice president of our company, so we're incorporated, and he's also on that. So one of my best employees, one of my best supporters, and I couldn't do it without him, I know that.
So the role my husband has played has changed over the years. When I first signed up, he was the glorified babysitter when I would go do shows and home parties, and he supported me wholeheartedly in that. He would also come and help at the Scensty office and help volunteer hours because I would drag him and the kids down. And then his role changed to, he worked full-time at corporate, at Scensty corporate office, and I was the consultant, and so our jobs kind of supported each other, but it was still kind of hard not having him work with me. And then when he retired, we work our Scensty business fully, 100% together. We do work really well together, and I definitely could not do without him.
I agree. My spouse is a complete partner. We do this 50-50. He's an amazing recruiter. He's an amazing salesman. He's actually taught me a lot of things because that's what he comes from, is sales. And then also he's the accountant. So when I'm spending too much, he pulls in the reins, and then I'm like, who started this? No, kidding. But that's what he does. He's a huge support system, and I am in agreement. I could not be here without what he has helped this to become.
My husband also is a great supporter, and he works full-time at his own job, so he helps me when he has the time available. He's definitely my financial person. I would just soon give everything away, and he pulls me back and keeps me in line. So he's just a huge supporter, and I don't know that I can continue to do the business without his support and his approval.
Next question.
Yeah.
Earlier on in your business, just two things. What would you have had your spouse do more of to help you out? Now, right now they seem to be like a 50-50 partner in it, but earlier on, when it was just kind of you, is there something that your spouse could have done more of to make your life easier? Or is that going too far back?
You know what, he's asking if there's anything that our spouses
could have
done in the beginning to help us more. And I will say, my husband worked in the beginning, and so he was in contact with more people, and he did better at recruiting and selling when he was working. So now that we're both together and we're always together, we've had to learn how to be together. It's actually, I liked, I don't know if I'm still, I liked when he was working and had other people to talk to. Does that, I don't know if it's better now or then.
I like it the way it is.
That's a hard one for me because he's just always been a huge supporter for me, and so I don't have an answer to that question, John. Sorry.
You're in trouble when you guys get home.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want it different. What I do want, though, to eventually come of it is for my husband to be more involved with my business. I want that stronger support. I want him to be helping on my business decisions, and he's just so busy. You know, he still has his full-time job. Our goal is to get him retired early so that he can spend the time with us, or that he can do something he really wants to and enjoy. So my relationship with my spouse through the beginning to now has kind of stayed the same.
One thing I can say that he did right, that I wouldn't have changed, was full-on support me and love me and trust me in my decisions.
And I think that I think that it would have been great to have him as a full-time partner. I'm kind of glad he has his own little job to keep himself busy, so he's not interfering with my job as much. But I also think that I needed him not to be there in the beginning so that I could learn my job, so that he wasn't putting his spin on my job. So I think it needed to be my business first, and then him with his full support. I mean, he's always been there 100% with the support. But I think if I hadn't learned the business from the bottom up, I'm not sure if it would really be my business or if it'd be his business.
So are we doing one of those or what we have?
One of these.
Okay. 4. You guys don't know what's 4. For someone just starting out in a minute or less, tell me what some of the benefits of becoming an SSDR. You did that as to be funny. This was not my favorite question. She did that on purpose. All right. This one's hard, I think, for all of us, except for maybe her, because it's very personal. Mine is the honor of learning all the levels and being able to help others, meaning all Scensty family. I love working with anyone, even if they're not under me. I do believe we aren't competition. We're all family. But learning and growing and watching them achieve their goals. I never thought I would be a superstar director, but learning has been one truly amazing experience. I want to say, one of you earlier said it, so I'm copying. First, I get a copy. But now I forget, because I said that. I shouldn't try to be funny. So maybe I'll let them say it.
So the benefits of becoming a superstar director for me are more on a personal level. When I first started and signed up for Scensty, I had a very low self-esteem. I didn't have faith in myself that I could really accomplish anything. I had only had a high school education. I didn't have any college, and we had just filed bankruptcy a couple of years before I joined. So the journey that I have had on becoming a superstar director that I would not have had, and the learning experiences, the growth personally, would not be the same if I hadn't taken that journey. I don't know if that makes sense, but I have a self-confidence in myself I never would have imagined. I never would have considered myself to be a leader, and the friendships that you make, the people you meet, it's kind of corny, but they're amazing benefits of becoming superstar director. Of course, there's monetary, and you don't want to diminish the fact that becoming a superstar director will increase your monetary life and the ability to support your family, and it has allowed my family to become financially free and independent. So the benefits are endless, and the span of that is vast, from personal to monetary to emotional. all kinds of different benefits for becoming a Superstar Director.
I'm with April. I didn't like this question either. It was hard, and it is personal for each one of us. For me, one of the benefits of being a Superstar Director is to just, number one, reaching that and accomplishing that goal that I had, that I wanted to be there, and I reached it. And so for me, that joy in being where I wanted to be has arrived and come. So that's one thing. The other thing that I talked about earlier that I said was the relationship that I build within the Scensty family. Not one of us up here are on the same team. We're all Superstar Directors. We're all friends, and some of my best friends are within this company that I would have never, ever had the experience to meet. And so I definitely feel that as a benefit to me, because I can turn to a lot of them when I struggle personally, on a personal level, or on a business level, and so that is really important to me and a benefit. And I think one of the reasons why I didn't like this question is because I think a lot of people get the vision, or they see that a Superstar Director will become a Superstar Director and then they don't really do anything. Well, I can testify to you that I do exactly what you do to this day. From the time I was a Superstar Director, when I earned it, I was still having home parties. I'm still having home parties today. And so everything that I do is everything that a certified consultant or lead consultant does on a daily basis. I haven't quit doing that, and I probably never will quit doing that. But, so I think for me, to say Superstar Director benefit to lead or certified, those benefits are the same for me no matter what level I'm at. I hope that makes sense. But for me, I don't really compare myself any differently to a certified consultant, because I still do the exact same things that she would do.
Or he.
Nothing like being the last one, because they've said it all. I mean, it is a very personal, and I guess one of the things that I got out of being a Superstar Director is along the journey, watching other people be able to achieve their dreams and their goals, and it's so pleasing and rewarding to see your team members just achieve things that they never thought was possible. And so I think it's more the journey, not that you've arrived anywhere. I think it's more the journey along the way. It helped me personally to, they always say, get outside of your box. Well, it's made my box expand. I have a much bigger box now than I had when I first became a Scensty consultant.
Self-confidence was the word I wanted earlier.
There we go.
You remember. I remember.
Okay, so we'll answer one of the questions, and it says, do you do monthly incentives every month? Now I do, as a Superstar Director, but when I first started, I did not. I didn't have the funds to. I didn't have the money to do that. And another question we had in one of the other groups was,
Yes.
how can I be a better director besides free stuff when you do well? So it kind of correlates with that, and I think it's really important that you're giving some kind of acknowledgement, but it doesn't have to be monetary. It can be a postcard in the mail that says "Great job." I've had people respond back saying, "Thank you so much. That made my day. I was really down and discouraged and wondering if I even wanted to do this anymore." Also, we do Facebook, which we do a Wahoo Wednesday, which we will post it'll be a post that has everybody that's sold 500 or more or how to recruit so far that week or for that month, and just putting their name out there for other team members to see. It motivates them and it encourages them, and then posting their name in a newsletter that they're doing well or something like that, just giving them some kind of a knowledge out there for others to see is a good way to acknowledge and to show incentive. But I do incentives every month now, and they'll change from month to month. So
I don't do incentives every month. I like what April said earlier. I'm going to let her tell it, though. I won't take yours, okay? But you know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, good. But I don't. I have done kind of what Becky said. You know, I have a team page where I'll post, you know, congratulations on your advancements. I do send out advancement recognition things every month for my team. I think that's important. But my sister-in-law, who's a star director under me in Texas, she really taught me something, because I'm the type of person, I have the personality that I don't need that. It doesn't really do anything for me. I don't know why. I just, it doesn't. So to be recognized, I hate being recognized. I don't know why. It's just my personality. But my sister-in-law wanted to be recognized, wanted her name plastered all over this page, you know, to be recognized. I think it's important as you grow your teams to recognize the people's personalities on your team and see what motivates them. Whether it is their name, if they don't need anything, you can still write notes. But I like the personal reach out, give them a call and say, I'm amazed at what you did this month, how did you do it, kind of things. I do some team challenges on my team page that I'll give awards for as well, but I don't have a consistent monthly incentive that I do.
Yeah, I would agree. I do incentives, but I definitely don't do them monthly. My favorite way of reaching out, and it's what I try to teach, because you want to be duplicatable. You don't want someone coming to you saying, I can't do what my director does, I don't want to be a director. So I try to teach them, I do an email every Monday. Now you don't have to do every Monday, you can even do once or twice a month. All your team wants to know is you're there. So, and on my emails I'll announce people that have done well. But I definitely, on my incentive months, which is what Casey was talking about, is you pick the months you want to do those incentives. The incentives are for a reason. You're not going to do an incentive or in November, October, November, when the sales are high. People are selling. It's the easiest selling month. People need gifts. The J months, you know, you don't want to mark them or brand them, but they tend to be slow. So those are the months that I do incentives. I really want to push my team to sell, because those summertime people are busy. January, everybody thinks they need a break from Christmas. So I do incentives those months. And you don't want to break yourself doing incentives. You get bigger checks in November, save up a little bit, because you know that J's are the month that you got to incentivize your team. So you save up a little bit to send out those little rewards. But snail mail, 100%. Sending out a handwritten card is one of the best things that your team or anyone under you will get. I still have people that have them, they'll come up to me, oh my gosh, I got something from you, and it's taped on my mirror. Those are huge. It's way more than a monetary, is that right? Thing.
I think too, let me add one thing.
Sorry to add something else. I think I like the randomness. I like sending out randomness, because I get people that are just like, oh, why did I get this in the mail, you know, and it's just a random thing. And I think even as you build your teams, you'll find people on your team that feel they aren't doing very well. Recognize those people. Give them a little something to look forward to. So I don't think just recognizing the top people all the time, recognize those that are struggling as well, somehow, some way, to make them feel better.
Yeah, I'll say in my Monday emails, it's all amounts. Thank you for getting orders in. Everyone's recognized.
And I don't do monthly every month on a regular basis. I do just whenever I need to. I used to do a lot more and think that that was motivating, and that's when my financial husband pulled me back and said, you're really not gaining anything here. So I guess my advice would be to make sure you do what's comfortable for you and what you can afford, and know your team and reward them for things that mean something, that is going to build your business. How many hours a day do you spend working your business? In my case, it has changed over the years. When I had children at home, my hours and the number of days per week and everything, it depended on what their schedule were. was. Now that both of my children are married and out of the house, I have a whole different schedule. So the number of hours depends on what kind of incentives and what kind of things I want to do with my business. It definitely, the amount of hours that I put in, it definitely shows in how my business is performing. So I think it just depends on where I am in my life and if there's something else. The beauty of this business is if there's something else that needs my attention, I can put less hours in.
Becky's killing me. This is the other question I don't like. I don't, it's hard for me to pinpoint how many hours a day I work. I feel like I'm always on call, but because it's something I love, I don't feel like it's work. As far as the schedule, Mondays, like I've said, I love Mondays in my office. I do my reports. That's the day that I, as my boss, make myself work. But I am allowed to take today off because I'm here. But it's still working, so I'll still pay myself. It could roll out. Excuse me. Yeah, see, there I go trying to be funny. Oh, here's what I was gonna say. I feel like I'm on call. My team doesn't, I don't have hours, so my team doesn't say like, oh my gosh, it's past 5, I can't call April. But what I do is, like Danette, I love to go to afternoon movies, and I'll shut my phone off and I don't feel bad not answering. My team knows I'll get back to them when I can. So I schedule my own hours and I answer the phone and text and emails when I want to. So this has given such a freedom of my time, even though I feel like I work all the time, but it's something I love.
So this one is another hard question for me because it's changed over the years. At the beginning, I worked a lot of hours, and I spent a lot of time away from my family, and I had to realize that that was probably not the best choice. It was a sacrifice, but it did put a strain on our family. And I think it kind of depends on where you are in your life right now, because everybody's journey's in a different spot. Some people are full-time outside the home. Some people, have more hours to work. Some people have a lot of children, so it's managing that. I probably, between my husband and I, we probably work 25, 30 hours a week at the most. But I've also been placed in a position becoming a superstar director and doing the business for 10 years that I have extra funds that I can hire people to help me out. I have an assistant, I have a bookkeeper and a manager, so my hours are more through them, and I kind of try to stay on the, I work my business, I do parties and stuff, but my 3 awesome employees are here. They're also Scensty consultants, but I love them to death. But that's another benefit of becoming a superstar director, by the way. So I think it's all different for each of us. You need to find the priorities and then figure out what time you have left to spend on your Scensty business and how soon you want to rise up in the ranks of Scensty is also dependent upon how many hours you work. So finding that, it's not balance. What was the word I used? But it's not, okay, so finding the balance is important. Priorities.
That's the word. This really feels like deja vu. Have we answered this question already to you guys? No? Okay, good. Because I'm like, well, she's saying, I'm like, I think we've answered this one here. I don't remember. For me, my hours, I didn't really read this as hours in a day. So for me, when I first started Scensty, it was a 24/7 thing. I just always had on my mind that excitement of the business and I'm doing it and how I'm going to grow and all this stuff was going through my mind. So I was constantly always wanting to work my business because I was excited. It created a little bit of contention within our family, and my children at the time when they've said a couple hurtful remarks to me about how I spend more time doing that than with them, it really made me step back and take a look at what I was doing and how I was working my business. So for me, I chose to break up my week and break up my time because my family is my #1 priority and my #1 concern and my love. And I want them to always be there, and they weren't at that time. So what I did was I created a work schedule for myself I work on Monday and Wednesdays from 9 to 3 while my family was at school, while they were at school. And on Friday, 9 to noon, I would get out early on Fridays. So I would do 9 to noon. And I would do all of my office work. And I would do certain things on those Mondays, certain things on the Wednesdays, and on Fridays. I also felt at that time it was important that I took care of myself, and I think that it is important for us to take care of ourselves, and so on Tuesdays and Thursdays would be my me days. These are me days. These are when I go to the doctor's appointments. These are when I go to get my hair done, get my nails done, whatever. Oh, don't forget the massage. I go do that. But you have to take care of yourself before you get to be healthy and fit and rejuvenated to work your business. So it's important. If that's one day for you, that's great. For me, it's 2 days. I deserve 2 days off, I think. So I take those 2 days off, and I work my business the best I can on it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It doesn't mean that I don't have my cell phone on me all the time, because I have team members that are in different states. I have to be available to them when they need me the best I can. That doesn't mean when I'm at dinner with my husband, I pull out my phone and I'm answering a phone call from somebody on my team from Georgia that needs help entering a party at dinner time when I'm with him. That's not what I mean. That is there because if I can, I will answer it. I don't always answer it when they call, but they know that I will call them back. So be consistent on that, I guess, as far as getting back to them. But don't let it take over your life. For me, it was getting that way, and I had to take a step back and go, okay, I have to work this right. Because if I was to have a normal job where I'd go out of home and work, I would only work during that time and be home and I'd be done. Now, and I also want to say that doesn't mean that I can't think Scensty all the time, and I think it's important too. I have a little notebook in my car because where I've dropped off a son or I'm waiting to pick up somebody, I'm constantly thinking Scensty, and I keep that just to take notes, like, oh, I need to do this. I need to do this when I'm in the office next, and so that I get everything accomplished. But for me, I had to make set hours. Otherwise, I would be doing it constantly. So, okay. Do you have a daily routine that you do? Example, like mail out Monday. P.S. We love you guys. Thanks, Betty. I don't really have a daily routine. When I'm in my office on the 3 days that I'm in, I try to do, like, every month, my monthly, after the 10th, I try to do my advancement incentives and send those out. So I do have certain things that I do every month. I pay all my bills on a certain day. I have this, I don't know, I like what Becky and we've done. I started on my team, but I find myself when I start something, I don't always like follow through. So I have these really good ideas for, like, Motivate Me Monday on my team page and give me your thoughts. And I try to involve, I've had times where I've tried to involve my teams in some of those fun days, or like, woo-woo Wednesday. Wahoo, I mean. Woo-hoo, that sounds good too. Wahoo! We have the wahoos here. So do something like that. Maybe I would do something like that. That's what I've done before. I haven't done it recently, but I have done it before. So.
I don't really know why I chose that schedule because my assistant does most of my daily routine. We do have a daily routine set up. We will come in and do online order thank you cards every day. We answer emails. We do the 5-day Facebook thing. We'll post Motivational Monday. We'll do Team Tip. Thank you, Chrissy. Team Tip Tuesday. Wahoo Wednesday, which is where you woohoo. We update how many people have sold and recruited. Ta-da Thursday, which is, everybody posts whatever they want. That's fantastic, or that's wonderful that's happened to them personal or business-wise. And then Freebie Friday. So anybody who posts during the week will get their name entered in at a drawing, and then they get a little package sent in the mail, just a little envelope with some goodies in it. So routine, it just kind of, and then monthly we do our newsletter, so there's a routine on the day that goes out. But mostly it's just keeping up on customers and inventory, those kinds of things that we do.
I do have a Monday. Monday's my scheduled day where, like I said earlier, I love to sit and do my team and director reports and send out that email. I have to say I have been blessed with an amazing assistant that does send out birthday, anniversary, and promotion. That has taken a huge weight off my shoulders because I was struggling keeping up on that. As your team grows, it's starting out small, it's fun, and if you do it, you keep up the routine. But as it grows, it gets overwhelming to stay up on all of those. So I'm very grateful for my assistant, and it's made what I get to do a lot more fun because when I do the random incentives or fun things, I'm able to do those and not have to worry about having other things to do. But Mondays would be my mail out day.
I think I do have a routine, and I do pretty much what they've all talked about. I do find that my routine changes because not only do I get bored with it, but I think my teammates get bored with me sending out the same things all the time. So I think my routine changes, and what I might send them changes, whether it's a newsletter or whether it's cards. I think it has evolved over the years, and I think hopefully it will continue to evolve.
How do you keep motivated when you have hit a wall and don't know where to go or what to do in your business? How do you get over your fears of no? My biggest thing is attend functions, which, yay, hoot hoot, give yourself a pat on the back for being here. If you feel like you're hitting a wall, go listen to the training tab. That is my favorite thing to do when I feel like I'm in a slump. We all get into them. The training tab is absolutely amazing. Kay Diggins is here. She has an amazing training on there. I even will do some challenges on my Facebook and make my team go listen to ones I've listened to. But if you're ever in a slump, go to that tab. Use your resource tab. The trainings on there are amazing. They do even do consultant trainings monthly or weekly. I'm sorry I asked. All right. They're on there. Go check that tab. And then the other thing, awkward, yeah. As far as the no, this is a quote from little Betty in the front row. A no just means not right now. Plant the seed. Don't be afraid of the no. And then I offer that, what if the person would have said yes and you didn't ask?
I'll answer the last part of that question. How do you get over your fears of no? And to be honest, I still have a fear of no. It's a continual struggle that I face, but you have to continue to put yourself out there and ask. I always took the no as a personal rejection of me. Not, who was it that spoke at convention last year that talked about we are telling ourselves what other people are thinking. Thank you. Yeah, it was amazing because I come up with these situations in my head that people are thinking about me, and so it's a struggle that I work with every day, and I have to continually tell myself and do that talk in your head that it's not about you, it's just not the right time for them, and so I face that daily. It's still a fear of the no, but it's something that I work on daily as well. So. I don't know that I will ever overcome the no, but I will continually fight to overcome it, if that makes sense.
And for me, the part of the question that hit me the most was, how do I keep motivated? When I first started Scensty 8 years ago, I was working 2 other jobs. So I was doing 2 other jobs, and I was doing Scensty, and in that first year of doing all 3, I just wore myself out, and I decided to stop everything and just focus on Scensty. So I made a goal for myself, and I made the goal to sell $2,000 a month and get 2 recruits a month for that next year. And I did it. I reached that goal. I committed myself, and I accomplished that goal. And my business grew like crazy, and it was blossoming, and I was seeing all the benefits of that, and I loved it. Probably about 3 or 4 years ago, I hit this wall. I call it a wall, and we've talked about it in the last couple of sessions that we've had. The wall is basically something you create for yourself. I hit this wall, and it might not be the same wall for you, but you create your own wall that you hit. And that really hit me today because I really never thought of that before. So thanks for sharing that, Mary. But for me, I had hit this wall. I just was frustrated. I didn't know what else to do. And luckily I had family and friends that I could talk to about the situation. But I had to take a step back and look at why I was feeling that way. I had to say, what is going on in my life? What am I doing different now that I was doing then? What's different? And for me, it was that consistency and that goal. I think when we reach a goal and accomplish it, it's important to put another goal out there. Otherwise, we will hit those walls, and we will. It'll be hard for us to find the motivation to keep going. And so, about a year ago, well, it was actually September at Superstar Director Summit, that I knew what it was. I knew what my wall was. I wasn't consistent in my business. And so for me, that motivation came from being consistent and having those friends to reach out and help me with too. I also had to think about my why, because I'm sure some of you will, or some of you already have experienced that wall that we're talking about. And I encourage you to go back to your why. Do you have a why? Why are you in this business? What are you doing it for? And for me, when I think of my why, that is my other motivation, because it's for my family. It's for our freedom of doing what we want whenever we want. So I would say that motivation comes within yourself, number one, and you have to be able to find that in yourself.
And I guess I took the wall, the question, because I do get it from some of my teammates. So I personally looked at when I think I've hit the wall, and it always makes me stop and think the wall is something that I put up as an excuse. What it means is that I'm not working my business the way I should. It's an indication that I need to take a step back and go back to basics. Get back on that phone, get back to, talking to my customers, and getting back to, doing more home parties and back to the basics. Because that wall to me was something that I was building myself to as an excuse of why my business wasn't going forward, or why I wasn't finding more customers, or why I wasn't having more parties. So I think for me it was just to remind myself that that wall might have been superimposed by myself, and I need to learn to jump over that wall and go back to basics and do my job the way it should be done.
Okay, so last question. And I like this question because it says, what advice do you have to help new consultants find their why before they have success? Just lost my train of thought. We did a thing in one of these, on a leadership class that I'm a part of with some other Superstar directors, but we had them do a dream board. And I think that is a great way for them to really find out what their why was. The dream board, I'm sure you've all experienced it, is you put down, or you create a board of dreams that you have, whether it's financial, spiritual, emotional, family-oriented, success, whatever. But as they create this dream board, their whys start to become known to them. They start to realize, and honestly, their why is going to continually change throughout their Scensty journey. It has for me, and I know it has for a lot of people that I know. But I think the best way to help them find that why is to have them create a dream board. Have them put things that are important to them, dreams, not goals, dreams that they want. Because then the goals come to achieving those dreams. Those small goals achieve those dreams, but they need the dreams, because that's truly what their why is.
I like that. That's a good answer. When I read that question, I thought of just having that personal connection with them. I think that's important when you sponsor somebody, to get to know them personally, and it might be, their why might be to just make their car payment, and if you know that, you can help them figure out what they need to do every month to make that car payment. I think just that real relationship between you and your downline and each individual in your team is important. Some people are kind of shut off and don't really want to share stuff, and that's okay, but I think when we have somebody sign up underneath of us, we should take that time to find out why they really joined. I think that's important, and I think that it makes them feel that you want them, like you're there to help them, you're there to help them be successful in that. So for me, a personal relationship is really important, and to build a strong friendship with them and help them realize what that why is.
I've got nothing new. That's exactly, I mean, it's a privilege to walk somebody through that journey to find out what their why is. And I hope everybody knows what their why is and keeps reevaluating it. I got nothing.
You're good.
Yeah, I struggle with the why, and I know they change and everybody's changed, and so I honestly don't know how I would answer that question, because I struggle with the why. I mean, my why is I get to help my mom and my in-laws, but that's my why, but that's not how I help someone come up with one.
We're out. Thank you so much. Yeah, see, my head's cut off again. Mark doesn't like it. Thank you guys so much. I hope we were able to give you some type of inspiration or something that might help you in your businesses. We appreciate you taking the time to come to our class. And Scensty Spirit. Yeah, and you can reach out to us anytime. Come contact us or walk up to us. We'll give you our emails or whatever you need, and we're more than willing to help answer any other questions you might have. Thank you guys.